I have been sitting on this gift for probably close to 2 years. And in the Bible, it's not even in the Bible, it's one of the forgotten books of the Bible. It's the Gospel of Thomas. And in the Gospel of Thomas, it says in number 70, if you release what is within you will save you. And if you do not release what is within you will destroy you. And the reason that is because we're all given a gift. And we're supposed to use that gift because we're all connected. And so when somebody is not using their gift, the entire body, we all suffer because of it. And so when we don't release what is within us, it eats at us because it's trying to get us to step into that. I haven't slept good in months. And it's progressively gotten worse. And there's been stuff in my body that just has not been ideal. And I've just come to the realization that this stuff is happening because I have not been releasing. And because I've not been doing the videos that I really want to do. And I haven't been walking in my gift. And I had this realization that I understand how to fix problems like this problem for Vancouver that I'm going to get into. I understand how to fix this. I've known how to fix this for well over a year and a half. Probably at least a year. And I've posted this on Twitter, but I mean, who takes anyone seriously on Twitter? Like, nobody gets your essence. They don't. And I felt in my gut, like I was hearing, why would you get more answers if you're not releasing the ones that you've been given already? And so I did a video yesterday, the video I wanted to do at the end of 2024, and I slept. I actually slept for like 7.5 hours. And yeah, a few more nights of really good sleep would help. But I still feel so much better after having slept 7.5 hours. And this is the next video to do. The Vancouver Canucks are in a bit of disarray right now. And there have been lots of people asking, who do you trade? And one of the things with my gift is I just read energy. I understand how teams go together and who should lead them and who fits well together. It's like every team and organization is a puzzle. And you could actually attribute it to even being a tribe. And there are certain people that are supposed to be on certain tribes. And when you have somebody who is on the wrong tribe, it causes discourse for that entire tribe. It doesn't make that person bad. It just means that's not where they fit. And so there is so much disharmony in the world. I recognize I can help with some of that, and having the right people in the right place would help to create more harmony. And as we create more harmony in the world gets better for everybody. And so last year, not last year 2024, last year hockey season, 23-24, the solution to Vancouver's problem would have been to trade Elias Pettersson. Pettersson is a great player. If I was the GM of a team, I would trade for him in a heartbeat. He's a number one center, very good player, very good for most cultures and dressing rooms. There's a couple he wouldn't fit into, but I mean, that's the case with most people. But as we've gone further and this whole thing is exacerbated, what really the problem is that Pettersson and Miller are not a fit on the same team. I'm talking about JT Miller. And I am not crapping on Miller. I think he's a great player. I would take him on my team. But those two are not a fit. Energetically, they don't go together. It's like oil and water. It doesn't jive together. And so as that's gone on for the last year and a half especially, there's been more and more disharmony that has come. And there was also another mistake that got made earlier in the year when Rick Tocchet at the beginning of the year made the declaration that everything was going to be hard. Vancouver has reaped that. They've got exactly that. Everything has been hard. And I understand the sentiment. He was saying, there's stuff that we need to overcome. That's what he meant, but that's not what he said. So when you're a leader of an organization or a team, and then there's another example of this in Nashville. Barry Trotz at the beginning of the year looked over his team and said, we're not a good team yet. Because people were saying, we got all these additions and everything should just work out fine. He said, we're not a good team yet. Well, they've proved that to a T, that they're not a very good team yet. And so back to Vancouver. Up until about the beginning of this year, the right move would have been to trade Pettersson. Now that is totally flipped. And you can see there's all kinds of issues and a lack of harmony with Vancouver, and people are going, what's the issue? The solution to this problem is to trade both JT Miller and Brock Besser. Both great players, both players I would take on my team. Miller specifically is the one that needs to get traded, and I think he needs to go to the New Jersey Devils. He could go to the Rangers. I don't know, that's the best fit for him. I'm pretty sure if New Jersey traded for JT Miller, they would win the Stanley Cup. Because he brings an essence that New Jersey just doesn't have right now. He brings a different dynamic. You look at games played this year where Miller sat out. He was taking some time off. I believe Pettersson had 12 points in those 6 games that Miller was not playing. I would expect when Pettersson's out of the lineup, Miller's numbers will also get better over the course of the games that Miller's not, or that Pettersson's not playing. These two don't work together. So Vancouver can continue on this same path, but if you trade Pettersson at this point, that's going to be a mistake. Because there's already, how can I explain this? There's this heaviness this is all my opinion. There's this heaviness that is sitting around Miller that is not going to go away in Vancouver. He now needs to move on to a different team. It's like it's too late to start fresh. He needs a fresh start. And so the correct thing would be to keep Pettersson, to trade Miller, and to trade Besser. Not because Besser is a bad player, but he's a good fit on that team because Miller is around. He and Miller are a good pair together. They are not a good pair at this point in Vancouver together. So if you took out Miller, Besser would be okay, but he would not be playing up to his full potential, in my opinion. And why does any of this stuff matter? It's not just about creating a group of the most talented people. You look at Edmonton, for example, and you notice there's a lot. They should miss the playoffs. Like, this is a very tired hockey team. They are not the same team that they were a year ago. I love them. I think they're a very talented group, and there's a lot of harmony there because they all get along and they all go together energetically. But the best thing for the Oilers would be to miss the playoffs, get a top 10 pick, because then they wouldn't have to trade it to Philly this year, and that would get bumped to 26. They would be able to get a top 10 pick, miss the playoffs, and then I believe the next year they would win the Stanley Cup. Because you look at the Oilers, they're winning games, but the energy level is just not where it was last year. And it's my opinion that they're exhausted, they're tired, they need a long break from hockey. And few people will step out and actually say that, but I have an interest in having harmony. What's doing best for people? The professional sports leagues go way too long. They need to be cutting the seasons by like 20%, giving players much longer off seasons. And I'm sure that's going to come at some point, and people are going to talk about revenues, and you don't understand it's supply and demand. When there's less supply, there's going to be an increase in demand. You're not going to miss out on any money. You're just not. People will pay more to go to a fewer number of games, and they will appreciate it more, and so will the players, and everything would actually be better and more harmonious, but that's probably a whole other video. The goal in making a team is not to have just the most talent. You need somebody in your organization who can see who goes together, who fits the group and the culture that we currently have or that we're working on making. It's not just as easy as, oh, this guy's really good at hockey or whatever sport, and we just bring him in and just put him on our team. It's not that simple. And the teams that get this can create dynasties. The ones that don't, they struggle somewhere between excellence and mediocrity. And sometimes they're excellent and sometimes they're mediocre. And that's incredibly frustrating, and it wears on people over time. A lack of harmony wears on people all through the organization. So in the videos that I'm doing from this point on, especially on this topic, it's going to be talking a lot about harmony and identifying different case studies of who's got harmony and who doesn't, because this is something that this is my gift. And I also want this to be a reminder to other people that if you want your life to improve and get better and you want things to change, you need to start walking in your gift, because if you release what is within you will save you. And there are a whole bunch of us that are not walking in our, well, I mean, I am now. A whole bunch of us that we're not walking in our gift, and we need to, because the world needs what we carry.